Welcome, everybody. As you trickle into our virtual movie theater, we'll ask you to turn off your mics and videos for now. And we'll get started in just a second as folks trickle in. They're still popping their popcorn. All right, well, welcome everybody, and we're so glad to have you here. As you enter the room, we have turned your video and audio off for now, but there will be other opportunities to interact. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ashley Holben from Mobility International USA. Love movies and films, and I'm so happy that you're all here. I love being joined by fellow movie buffs and film fans. So let's get started. We're doing Disability at the Movies, this Joining Hands. And this year we're going to be doing a screening of Planes, Trains, and Canes. But before we start the screening, I just want to make sure everybody gets comfortable. Hopefully you have your movie snacks. And then I also want to first go over some access tips with you all to make this viewing experience as comfortable as possible. So let's start with this next slide here. So for our access tips, as I already said, we'll have your microphones and video off until we invite you to turn them on towards the, after this movie screening, we'll do a little discussion. And at that point, you know, if you're using headphones or have a quiet room, that'll definitely work best for the audio. There are captions for the videos we're going to be sharing. We also have a stream text link that my colleagues will include in the chat room, the chat box, which is below. Again, the videos themselves will be captioned. And then for the segments that do not include the video, there is a closed captioning button in the Zoom room that you can activate at any time you like. Or again, just use that stream text link that my colleagues will enter soon. If you have any commentary, we definitely encourage it. You're welcome to use the chat box. In fact, I'd love for everybody to enter into the chat box. Just say where you're tuning in from and what your favorite movie snack is, or if you have something there with you. I'd love to just know that you're there and to make sure that the chat is working for everybody. So go ahead and enter your location in the chat box and your favorite movie snack. And that will let me know that the chat is working. Oh, great. We have some folks from Arlington loving Milk Duds, someone in Maryland eating cherries, and then, of course, our popcorn fans. I'm with you right there. As we view some of these, the media, I wanted to let you know that Zoom makes it possible to view in gallery view and side-by-side view, and you can actually adjust your screen. Can we go to the next slide, please? You can hide the non-video participants to remove all those empty black boxes out of your viewing frame and to make it a little more streamlined. Let's go to the next one. And then again, just how to hide your non-video participants. To do that, you would click on the little button in the top right of any non-video window, hit the three dots, and then choose hide non-video participants, and voila, they're gone. Last slide, please. And then finally, if you're not familiar with the side-by-side mode and gallery view, it makes it really easy to allow you to customize your screen, adjust it so that you have a great view of the video that's being shared as well as the interpreter. And in order to do that, you would just grab the little bar running from top to bottom of the screen and adjust it to the left or right to enlarge either of your videos. So we can go ahead and stop sharing those. And I'm loving these comments that are coming through in the chat from people coming from Egypt and South Carolina, Florida. And this movie snack question is my favorite of all time. Twizzlers, lots of popcorn votes, chocolate. Oh, I'm so glad somebody said chocolate. So hi, everybody. Again, once again, my name is Ashley Holben, and we're about to do a screening of Planes, Trains, and Canes. Afterwards, I'll invite everyone to turn their microphones and videos on if you wish to share a comment. But throughout the video, feel free to use the chat box to share your thoughts. As you watch, I'd love to just, see your comments about whether you can relate to Mona in some of the situations she's found herself in during her travels. But before we start the video screening itself, I'm going to start with an interview with Mona Minkara, who unfortunately could not be here today, but she wanted to share an introduction about her film. And so if Joey Lenny, you could bring up the video. And I'm going to turn off my video and we'll go ahead and play it. Hi, everyone. We're here with Dr. Mona Minkara at the Joining Hands Virtual Symposium, and we're just about to get started with our video screening of Planes, Trains, and Canes for our Disability at the Movies segment of the virtual conference. And we're really excited to have Dr. Mona Minkara with us here today. She is going to be traveling a little bit during the actual virtual Joining Hands Virtual Symposium. And so she graciously accepted an invitation to join me a little bit in advance to talk about the series that we're about to watch. Hi, Dr. Mona Minkara. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, and hello, everyone.
So can you just say a little bit about, for those who don't know you already, say a little bit about yourself, including, where are you calling in from, and what are you doing there?
Okay, so my name is Mona Minkara, and I am a professor of bioengineering here at Northeastern University. I am currently sitting in my office in a building called ISEC, which stands for Interdisciplinary Science Engineering Complex. So yeah, that's what I'm calling in, and welcome.
Fantastic. And can you share with us, where are you going to be during the Joining Hands Virtual Symposium? I understand you have some travels coming up.
Yes, after many months and a long time, I'm finally going to go and be able to visit my extended family in Lebanon. So I'll be traveling to Lebanon, which I'm really excited for.
But I'm really excited for you. And actually, I should mention that at our last year's virtual Joining Hands Symposium, your sister, Sarah Minkara, was actually one of our keynote speakers. So we're getting the whole Minkara family involved. Maybe when you visit your extended family, they can get in on it next year somehow.
Maybe we hold it from Lebanon, I can sit down. Mount Lebanon, zoom in.
So, Mona, we're here with this conference, the Joining Hands. It's all about people with disabilities in international exchange programs, and that includes like their participation, inclusion, representation, leadership. And so, you do a lot of international travel. Do you have any connections to the international exchange field at all, or maybe future connections?
Yeah, I don't have any right now, but I think it would be really amazing for one day for me to do a Fulbright, as a professor down the line. I would really love to do that.
Do you have any kind of countries in mind for where?
No, I haven't thought that far. I literally thought right now, Fulbright, yay.
Well, we would love to talk to you more about that sometime. But for now, we're here to talk about your web series, Planes, Trains, and Canes. Can you tell me a little bit about this and how the idea for it came about? Because it's quite different from your professional field, this topic of international travel. So where did that come from?
Well, honestly, it kind of came from the same place of why I am a scientist, but it started off like this. So the first year the Holman Prize was kind of offered, I was asked to be a judge. So I was flown out to San Francisco, and I remember going through all these applicants and being extremely impressed. And so the way the Holman Prize works, it's a prize put out by the Lighthouse for the Blind in San Francisco, and they give it to a blind person with an ambitious idea. Okay. And I remember thinking, wow, these blind people all around the globe have these amazing ideas. What would I do if I got the Holman Prize? And I was literally on the plane, and I was like, oh, you know what? I love traveling. Man, I can get them to cover my travels. And I was like, wait, but I need to add a twist to it, right? Like it needs to be ambitious and beneficial to others. So I was like, okay, you know what? We'll come up with a travel show where I travel as a blind woman, showing the world like how it is to travel as a blind individual. And then I added one more twist and say, well, using only public transportation on top of planes, of course. And that is because I have a very special place in my heart for public transport, because to me, it's a symbol of freedom. And that's how Planes, Trains, and Canes came about. It's literally a YouTube travel series where I travel to different cities around the world using public transportation in the city.
And what are some of the cities? What are some of the cities to which you travel?
Yeah, I went to Johannesburg, London, Istanbul, Singapore, and Tokyo.
Hey, so
I've been to many.
You covered the span of the globe. It sounds like.
Yes, I actually think I flew around the globe, literally.
Do you kind of have a favorite episode or moment that sticks out in your mind?
Oh, I have many. So I was really touched by, I think it was in Istanbul, a taxi driver who saw me kind of struggling. Literally at one point I was like, where's the hotel? Like, I just said it. And this guy like stopped his taxi, got out, tapped my left arm and said 15 meters. And like, I just was very impressed because I was worried that, I wouldn't be able to really navigate in a place like Istanbul because I don't speak the language. But then, I don't know, this guy just like helped me out, got back in his taxi and drove away, and I found the hotel. Like that was an awesome moment. But another really great moment was Tokyo. I had been told that it's really accessible, but I remember at one point just being so in tune with all the sounds that they had engineered around us, like from sound, like exit sounds to crossing the street north-south versus east-west, to even different train lines having different sounds, that at one point I was like, wow, I really don't need any eyesight here. And that was just like a revolutionary moment for me.
And I'm really excited for our audience here today to get a little glimpse of what you experienced in those settings. And you had kind of mentioned, I think it's kind of a recurring theme. Maybe one of them is you sometimes find yourself in these kind of frustrating situations while you're abroad. You're navigating not just access barriers, but sometimes language barriers on top of that. What advice do you have for travelers with disabilities who might find themselves in these kinds of frustrating situations when they're traveling?
That's a really good question. Advice. I don't know. Just plan ahead that it's going to happen. So try not to let it ruin. We are faced with these issues. Other people might not be, but they might be faced with other things. I think part of travel is this. It's the surprises that might come out. And so, I don't know, try to enjoy yourself, be patient. It's frustrating when people do that, but at the end of the day, like, you get to decide how your day goes emotionally. It can be difficult, but no, try to enjoy yourself. That's the best I can say. I think it's not easy. So I don't
sage
know.
Advice. And then, are you still in touch with some of the people that you met during when you were filming?
No, I didn't do. I mean, you mean the people that I filmed with, or the people that I met along my travels?
Well, along the way, I noticed on your YouTube channel, you have kind of a follow-up segment where you're interviewing friends of Planes, Trains, and Canes. And I was wondering if you could say something about that.
Oh, yeah. So I have a Back to You where we interview friends of fans of Planes, Trains, and Canes. And that's literally people who have interviewed me or reached out that were touched by the series. And so that's been a really cool process to kind of get to know them and see how Planes, Trains, and Canes impacted them. So they are like, I'm in touch with them, but like random people that I met along my journey, like I feel like I made some really genuine human connections, but I didn't do a good job keeping track of their contacts. So if they're listening, please reach out, because there were some pretty awesome people.
I'd love to see some of them commenting on your YouTube videos saying, hey, that was me.
Yeah, I would love that.
So speaking of which, what has been the reaction that you've received from the series? You talked about the ways in which, people saying it impacted them. How has it impacted them?
From blind individuals being like, I really relate, and you're really speaking like my experience, and it makes me feel so happy to know that this is being expressed, from that to sighted folks being like, I never thought about this, even though I've known you almost your whole life. I never really thought about how this goes, you know? So like I feel like I got a gamut of reactions. These are from people that I know. Online, I feel like we really inspired a lot of discussion. Like there's a moment in London where, you know, I kind of get into a little bit of a disagreement with the underground employee. And I mean, he was really nice and he actually double checked everything we were talking about. But you know, that particular scene caused a lot of debate, like online, a lot, from YouTube to Reddit to, like, it really caused discussion, and that brings me joy. That's the whole point of the series, is let's talk about this.
Yeah. Well, that's great, because I'm hoping that after this screening of one of your episodes, we'll have a chance to share discussion with our Joining Hands audience. And even though you won't be there for that live, we're going to share the questions that came up with you. What do you hope that travelers with disabilities will learn from watching Planes, Trains, and Canes? What are you hoping they'll get out of it?
Well, honestly, like, you know, they're part of the audience, of course, but I really wanted this series to be for the non-disabled community, you know, to try to kind of, I wanted to bring them along for the journey. So, you know, I wasn't necessarily with the mindset is, here, let me teach this to the disabled community. No, I was like, let me bring the non-disabled community along for the ride so that they can experience it. Yeah.
And you know, speaking of that, you know, you don't see a lot of international travel series that star people with disabilities, or at least I haven't seen as many. But now, you know, with YouTube, people are making their own. They're kind of taking it into their own hands. But they're still, you know, how do you make a video series accessible to a cross-disability audience? You know, because even though, like you say, you're wanting to reach non-disabled people, you still want it to be an experience that's going to be accessible to people with disabilities, but inclusive. So can you tell me some of the things that might be a little bit different about your series from other travel series?
So I actually did a lot of thinking about this. It's really important that there's an equitable experience for people to watch, and to, you know, to the best of my ability. And so what we've done is, of course, every episode is closed captioned, you know, but there's embedded audio descriptions. Every episode already has audio description, and we've kind of introduced the concept almost from a character perspective. It's almost like our audio describer, Ted, who's also our editor, actually, is almost like a character, you know, like narrating, describing what's happening. And that was intentionally done. And there is no version of the video without the audio description. It's just there for everyone. And this ends up making it an experience for all to enjoy.
What kinds of things in the environment do you instruct Ted to comment on specifically? You know, because you have to kind of make decisions about what you're describing, what you're maybe leaving out.
Well, you know, the storyline needs to be cohesive if you watch it with your eyes closed, right? Like you need to make sure you're describing things that are pivotal to the storyline, what is happening, right? Like if you neglect, you know, if you hear a screeching sound and you neglect saying, "Oh, car almost hit Mona," like then, you know, a blind person is not experiencing that. Like it's really important to be able to get the same story with your eyes closed. Yeah.
And while you're actually experiencing it, you know, when you were traveling, did anyone that you were traveling with describe things that were around you, or was it kind of a surprise? Like it wasn't until you heard the audio description that maybe you noticed something in the background that you didn't notice at the time?
A combination of both. That's a very good question. So like as I was traveling, the whole point was to travel independently. So I didn't actually talk to my camera woman, Natalie Guzzi. I didn't know, I just didn't know what was around me. Only what I could deduce based on sound. And so there are some things I could deduce based on sound, like, you know, car coming at me or whatever. But there are things afterwards that are like, oh, this person looked at you funny, or those things were completely lost to me in life. Like, yeah. So a combination of both.
So the power of audio description can kind of enhance that experience.
Yeah.
And so my last question for you is, what do you see a future for Planes, Trains, and Canes as far as traveling to new cities, adding more episodes? What do you think might happen from here?
I'm really excited. I hope we can get funding for season 2. If we do, I definitely have cities lined up for another season of Planes, Trains, and Canes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much to Dr. Mona Minkara. Enjoyed talking to you this morning, and really excited to share an episode of the fruits of your labor with the Holman Prize with our Joining Hands audience, and hopefully get them motivated to travel more and farther and wider. So thanks again.
Which episode are you going to watch?
We're going to take them to Tokyo.
Ooh, enjoy Tokyo. Best tea I've had was in Tokyo. Anyway.
Fantastic. Well, wishing you lots of safe and enjoyable travels to Lebanon, and enjoy the time with your family. And thanks again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Planes, Trains, and Canes with Dr. Mona Minkara. Streets of Tokyo. Mona listening to Crosswalk Button. Cute cartoons. Mona with a kimono and umbrella. Wiggling dessert. Mona walks through the cloth doorway. Episode 5, The Power of Technology. Airport.
So I just landed in Japan and they offered me assistance and I took it because I'm really tired and
Mona at the
I
plane
want to get
bridge.
through and I want to be able to find the metro as fast as possible. So stay tuned. Sometimes people think that blind people shouldn't travel or go out, but I feel like no, of course we can.
Walking with airline staff.
Is it your first time coming to Japan?
It's my first time in Japan. First time. I'm very excited. If you see a restroom,
Gestures toward restroom.
what is it?
Video game Mona jumps on screen. Talking maps.
Later on, we will come to the men's restroom.
Mona surprised.
Okay, this is cool. I'm so excited for Japan. Oh, look. These are these for the canes?
Cane guides.
Different countries have different material or spacing for the cane guides. This is cool. But I don't need it because I'm with you.
Okay, so on your right side, there's the Keikyu Line station.
Tokyo subway map. Airline staff assist Mona through subway gate.
Here.
So the card goes right here,
Yes.
right?
Hey,
Oh, nice.
On the train platform.
She was so nice. And she even watched the trailer for Johannesburg with me.
wait, did you leave your bag at the station?
Flashback to Johannesburg. Mona's bag outside the train as doors close.
Train's door closing.
Oh, no, oh, no. Come on. No. Okay, hold on. You have to watch to see what happens. Yeah,
I need to go back.
this is the intrigue. What does Sugoi mean?
Sugoi is like, wow.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
wow.
Demonstrating the subway cane guides. Tactile indicators by the train door gate.
And then is there a wall?
Yeah, there's a wall.
Ah, there's a wall. Okay.
Oh, bumps on this side. On your left side, yeah.
Is this where the door will be?
Right.
Ah, and then here is where the wall will be. I understand. Oh, is that our train?
Yeah.
Okay. It's nice. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mona and the staff
Arigato. Thank you very much for your help. This was awesome.
Great trip to Japan.
Thank you. I will.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Looking out the train window. Daimo Station platform.
Hey guys, so I just got off at Daimo Station. As you guys saw, this amazing lady helped me out. She helped me get to the train, like get my card. So that was really cool. And I found myself here really fast. Now I have to go find platform 4 and the Aedo line so I can go to Tochome, which is where my hotel is at. So let's figure it out. Stay tuned.
Subway station cane guides.
Probably will guide me to the elevator.
Cane guides lead Mona to the stairs. Mona with her luggage testing the stairs.
Yeah, no. Okay. Not here.
Walking around station.
Aedo line.
Wandering on station platform.
Tochome. Excuse me. Excuse me? Do you know how to get to Tochome?
Tochome.
No,
Tochome.
Okay.
Okay. My business card.
Oh.
I'm making documentary about blind people traveling.
Oh,
yeah.
great.
Yeah, you can keep
Escalator.
that. What's your name?
My name is Taka.
Taka? Oh, okay.
Japan keeps left.
Oh, keeps, okay. So in Japan, we stop on the left. My first
Tokyo
time.
is left, but
Yeah?
Kansai is right.
Kansai is right. Oh, okay.
Kansai, Osaka, Kyoto is right.
Train platform.
Hey guys, so I made it to hopefully the right train. There's a really nice guy who helped me out, and now I'm waiting in line to get on the train. And I'm gonna ride the train 8 stops, and then I'll be near my hotel. Oh, I think the train arrived. No,
On the subway platform, people wait patiently for the train.
it's so orderly.
Entering subway car.
Ooh, cool sound.
Daimo Station to Tochomae.
This train station is huge. Hopefully I'll find somebody who can help me out.
Exiting gate. Mona taps her card.
What's your name?
Masami.
Masami?
Nice to
Mona.
meet you.
Can you
Okay,
show me how to get to the Hyatt? Yeah, Hyatt.
Masami talks to the
私
information
のどこ
booth.
に出たらハイアットリージェンシーのホテルが一番近いのかわかんないんで。Okay. Now?
Yes.
Okay, A7.
A7,
So now my
yeah.
friends come over here. So we will take you. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, my friend coming.
Let's see how many times Mona says thank
We will
you.
take you.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are so nice.
Yeah, it's okay. A7 okay.
Masami talks to
Yeah, she'll
Natalie.
follow. I can't. I have to pretend she's not there.
Okay.
She can't help me.
Okay.
Ooh, getting helped by 2 ladies again. This seems familiar.
Flashback to Turkey. Mona helped by 2 security women. She thanks them 6 times.
Thank you. Thank you. Teşekkürler. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The current thank you high score is 6. The 2 women help Mona. Masami's friend walks ahead. Masami holds Mona by her cane arm.
Watching for elevator. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's okay.
I got it. By the way, I'll let you know if I need to hold on to you. I will tell you. Thank you.
She lets go and they walk side by side down the hallway.
Yeah, Shinjuku City is a big, huge city in the town, in the world, anyway.
Really? Wow. Okay, escalator? Okay, let me. Yes, I am, but I have to focus.
Okay.
They give Mona space before
Okay.
the escalator.
I got it.
Mona has said thank you 3 times so far.
Great.
I got it. So I just need my balance. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
I got it.
Thank you.
At the surface.
Wow, I'm in Japan. First time.
All right.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Now right go straight.
And then where's the hotel?
Yeah,
you see it?
already so the hotel.
It's to the right or to the left?
Signage reads Hyatt Regency.
Go straight.
Yeah.
So turn right.
Okay.
Already so here.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
It's okay.
Are you sure? Okay. You guys are so nice. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Entering Hyatt.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
auto door.
Thank you. Let me thank you. I want to thank.
Okay, go. One more door.
Okay.
And then after one more door. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And you go straight. Check in.
Yeah, I have to check in over there. Okay. I want to thank you.
We only just go to some lunch.
Oh, you guys are
Masami
nice.
pats Mona on the arm. Hotel lobby.
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, thank you. Yes, yeah. So this is the Hyatt Regency?
Yes, this is
Excellent. Yeah.
They hug Mona.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Have a nice day.
Okay. Are you ready, dude?
Masami goes close to the camera, blowing kisses.
What?
Mona thanks the 2 women.
I want to thank you.
It's okay.
Arigato.
It's okay.
Arigato. Thank
you guys saw some Facebook or something?
High score. 18 thank yous. Day 2. Sparkling chandelier of the Hyatt Regency.
Now heading to the hop on, hop off bus using the public transportation system.
Sorry, Lenny,
Let's see
can
how
I
it
have you stop sharing, please?
So there seems
Mona at
to
the
be
staircase.
bumps here.
Hey, thank you. This is Ashley here, everybody. Sorry about that. The video is a little laggy, so I'm going to share my screen and hope for a little bit better luck. One moment.
I want to thank you.
It's okay.
Arigato.
It's okay.
Arigato.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
guys saw some Facebook or something?
High score, 18 thank yous.
Day 2. Sparkling chandelier of the Hyatt Regency.
Now heading to the hop on, hop off bus using the public transportation system. Let's see how it goes.
So there seems
Mona at
to
the
be
staircase.
bumps here before the stairs, which is cool, which is something I liked about London. So far, Japan has everything that I've liked about different countries.
Video game Mona appears. Stair indicators.
Entering subway gate. Marunouchi line map.
Oh, I think the train's arriving.
Auditory subway info.
Subway doors open. Entering train car. Inside the train. Exiting train.
Ooh, did you hear that? That's a different tune. It seems like there are different musical tones for different trains. Is that the sound of a faucet?
Another cool thing, and I don't usually highlight bathrooms in these documentaries because, you know, we don't need to talk about everything. But one thing that's really cool about Tokyo is that see these cane guides? It led me here, like I was able to follow it, and there's this basically audio telling me that there's toilets here, the bathrooms are here, and I thought that was really cool. But still, even hearing the audio and hearing toilet now, whatever they're saying, close enough to toilet. Very awesome, very accessible. I don't need to really ask anybody, I just follow the cane guide.
Cane guides lead to talking restroom maps.
Exiting subway gate. Escalator.
I hear birds. Huh. Is the bird sounds because the exit is nearby?
Streets of Tokyo. Mona follows the cane guide.
The public transportation needs to be extremely efficient in Tokyo because they release a public apology when the trains are only 20 seconds late or 20 seconds early, which is kind of insane because I don't think anywhere else they're this precise. And imagine if they had one commuter that was slowing down everybody. No room for that. And that's why it's so efficient, even for someone like me who's blind and needing to travel for the first time within their system. With these systems in place, not only does it benefit blind people, but it benefits everyone.
Cane guides lead directly to the bus door. Mona enters bus. Rainy streets of Tokyo. Mona at a tourist center. Booklets line the wall of this room.
Hey guys, so interestingly enough, we were walking back, after a long day of fun adventuring, and we came across this place that's an information center for tourism. And the first thing that blew my mind, and actually Natalie found it, was this booklet that is literally a Tokyo guide for accessibility for sightseeing throughout the city. It's literally like a guide for people who are blind. They can follow along, connecting different sites around the city. Then the lady who works here was really nice and gave us a guide for paths that don't have barriers, so like sightseeing paths for wheelchair accessible. I was just blown away. I'm Muslim, and there's also guides for people who are Muslim around Tokyo. Everything you can ever think of. I was just blown away that they had something specific for accessibility set aside. Stay tuned. Let's see what the city will continue to offer.
Mona by the elevator. Reading Braille on the elevator.
Elevators have Braille.
Oh, it's much smaller Braille.
Tight building corridors and balcony.
Hi guys, I just made it here to the place where we're gonna have the tea ceremony. I'm standing in the lobby. We have to take off our shoes. We can't actually videotape during the tea ceremony itself, but I'm gonna be wearing a kimono, and afterwards we can videotape as much as we want. So I'll tell you about how it went and how the traditions are. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm very excited. So stay tuned.
Traditional tea room. Mona in a kimono. Ceramic bowls, bamboo whisks, and tatami flooring.
Hey guys, so I'm standing here inside of the tea room. We made it in, we just finished the tea ceremony. As you can see, I'm wearing a kimono. So the first thing they had us do is come in and wear the traditional Japanese kimono, which by the way, is kind of complicated. I don't think I'd be able to do it on my own. Then they brought us into this room and sat us down in front of the settings, which are to my right, and showed us how to do an official tea ceremony. And we made our
Mona
own
and
matcha
Natalie
green
whisking
tea, which
tea.
was really
Instructor
cool to
teaching Mona.
experience. Apparently tea ceremonies are something they would do either at a temple or at the New Year's. And it's something that's very traditional. It's not apparently common amongst the younger generations, but afterwards I got to actually feel all the tools. She really audio described everything I was doing. And apparently traditionally, when you're finished drinking your tea, you slurp. And this is because it was usually done in a dark tea room and the host might not be able to see you. So this way it was literally an audio response to the fact that you are done and to indicate that it was delicious. So, very blind accessible. So with that, stay tuned and thank you.
Shrine in the city. Paper lanterns. Mona speaks to 3 Americans.
We were walking, and in the distance, I heard some English. We happened upon a shrine, and there were some fellow Americans. And we started talking about accessibility.
Basically, there are cane guides on the ground, and they are so well done here that I can go from like inside the station to a bus stop. And what was even cooler for me is that like, you know, usually at a bus stop, you don't know where the bus is exactly gonna stop, where the door is gonna be, but the cane guide leads you right up to the door, and I was like, this is insane. I don't know, it was unbelievable. And then they also have like little areas that just have like bumps on the ground, and they might have talking, like you press a button, it tells you, oh, women's bathroom like to the left, men's bathroom to the right. I was like, what? I told one of the ladies in an information booth, I was like, you guys have surpassed us in the States.
Right.
And she's like, oh, thank you for saying that.
Well, it's far and beyond what's available, even in big cities, but much less, you know, like I said, we're in rural Missouri. There's nothing.
One thing that I thought was also cool is like when I was about to cross the street, like I was like trying to find the button to cross, but it automatically just chirps.
Right.
I was like, wow, don't even bother looking for a button.
Well, that's cool because for us, we don't even realize what that's for. So it's fun talking to you to understand what all these features are for.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, the trains. Does each train play a different song?
Okay, so I've been paying attention, and it seems like whenever they want to close doors, they play a song. Have you heard that?
Mona in 3 different train stations.
We've heard that.
And it's different tunes. I haven't figured out the pattern yet. I don't know. We're investigating.
Yeah, I was reading something about that, and I thought it was for people with disabilities or whatever to help them.
Maybe find
Really?
Well, we thought maybe, or she thought, not me, she's like, the different music may be corresponding to a different train final destination. So for instance, you have like 7 or 8.
I haven't figured that. If that was the case, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, there's like 7 or 8 different trains that go to different locations and 7 or 8 different songs that would help guide you there. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And then like they announced it in English, which really helps, you know, as somebody who doesn't speak Japanese. But what was also really cool is like I was able to like ask for help, and people have been helping
Mona
me
and Taka.
very easily. And like
we experienced the same thing. That
Airline assistant.
Genuinely polite, kind,
Masami and friend.
wants you to help you.
Taka pointing.
Do whatever it is you're trying to do.
Find what
You know,
Yeah.
and that's cool.
Well, honestly, guys, it was really nice to meet you. What are your names? What's your
Missy.
Missy, Mona,
Mona, Chris.
Chris.
Hey, Mona.
They shake hands.
Hello, what's your Mitchell?
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, I was trying to figure out where we were, and I just heard a human being. Turns out, fellow Americans were here. So,
Very
anyways,
nice seeing you. Have a safe trip.
yeah, check it out.
Mona crossing the road.
It's chirping. I can cross now. It feels like I'm in a video game.
Alleyway filled with neon lights. Mona dancing. Walking on busy crosswalk. Mona plays taiko drums at an arcade, drumming quickly. Signage reads, Robot Show. Tea cart.
Hey guys, we came across a tea cart. I never had tea from a tea cart, so I'm about to try it right now. It's brown sugar Okinawa tea.
Holding up
Apparently
leaf.
this is a ginkgo tree leaf because it's shaped like a fan.
holding
I
protein
just
bar.
went up to the counter and bought this calorie mate thing that Natalie helped me pick out, but it seems weird. I was just looking for a protein bar, so let's try this. I have no idea what I'm eating.
Takes a bite, immediately shakes head.
No. Ugh. Hey, you wanna try?
Touching plastic food.
So apparently here they advertise their foods by making them into plastic. This is all plastic? Ooh. Are you sure this is not real?
Tower. City lights. Ramen shop.
We're trying to figure out how this ramen thing works here. I pressed the button. It dinged.
Walking through cloth doorway. Automated ordering machine. Single booth ramen shop. Very tightly packed. Wiggling green tea jelly. Mona takes a drink. Placing order card. The booth window opens and a waitress takes the card. Seating chart. Mona sits on art stools. Waitress waves and bows. Outside Ichiran Ramen.
So, we just finished eating at this ramen place, and what was really interesting is that it was automated. The ordering process was completely automated. You went up to a wall, it had a bunch of buttons, you pressed what you wanted. And so I want to bring up the question of, does automation, how does that work for a blind person? Well, in terms of accessibility, that wasn't accessible to me at all. It's easier for me to talk to a person than to figure out what the buttons say because the buttons didn't have any braille on them at all.
Back at the ramen shop.
I need help with this. This is not accessible. So, I don't know, I feel like that's one thing about the city. There's a lot of things that are accessible, but there's also a lot of things that are automated. And what does that mean? So stay tuned, let's check it out as we continue with our adventure. Now, let's go to the hotel.
Walking down subway station.
Tokyo, you're doing it right. The Ken guides are everywhere.
Guides lead Mona to ticket booth.
Stations have different sounds to help the visually impaired. There is the sound of trickling water to indicate a bathroom.
Audio bathroom indicators.
And speakers by the escalators to help guide your way. There's also speakers by construction sites to help the visually impaired. Ken guides everywhere. Excellent. There's a sound for whenever the train arrives, for when the doors open, every train station has a different sound and it sounds like this. So every single time the door closes is a different sound on different lines. Or the sound of birds to indicate the exit.
Listening by the staircase.
Needless to say, we got a lot to learn from the accessibility technology in Japan. Tokyo, you're doing it right. Let's see what else you offer. Hey guys, they're everywhere and it makes me so happy because it's so inclusive. It really makes me feel like if I was just plopped in the middle of the city, I'll find a cane guide and it will eventually lead me to somebody. Or lead me to a train platform, or a bathroom, or an elevator, or the stairs. No, right here. And in one case, an eyeglass shop. Yay, I made it to the hotel and it was easy. On the next episode of Planes, Trains, and Canes. Stay tuned.
Entering car. Road trip. Japan countryside. Driving. Mount Fuji in the distance. Stone steps.
Hey guys, so I'm standing here at the beginning of 400 steps that we have to take. Hey guys, just finished climbing 400 steps.
Rural village.
Ooh, I'm standing here in front of apparently, a water wheel made out of wood.
Wooden house. Kit Kat Tower. Temple. Flower garden.
It's a mini Mount Fuji apparently, and apparently there's little lakes here.
Asakusa. Bus.
Ikebukuro? Arigato.
Construction sidewalk.
They actually put in a temporary cane guide. That actually feels a little bit different because there's a construction site right here. How cool. So inclusive. America needs this, guys.
Sushi restaurant.
So yeah, so let's begin. This is very interesting.
Planes, Trains, and Canes is made possible by the Lighthouse for the Blind and the Holman Prize. Planes, Trains, and Canes features Dr. Mona Minkara, Videoed by Natalie Guzzi and edited by Benjamin Jimenez.
Pixel Mona artwork courtesy of Paul Balaza.
All right, well, that was Planes, Trains, and Canes. And can I invite my my USA colleagues to join me on screen? I'm gonna read some of the comments, and I would love to invite, I promised Mona that I would share some of your reactions with her later on at some point while she's traveling through Lebanon. So let's see, I'm seeing some reactions from one person says, I love it. Let's see. So I would love to just get your thoughts in the chat box. If you'd like to share your comment via video or microphone, just let us know and we can activate those for you, or we can invite you to activate. Alexa says, fantastic, I learned so much. I'll definitely be watching more of these to share with my disabled advisees who are interested in studying abroad. Wow. And yes, I hope you will. I haven't seen all of the episodes, but Mona's YouTube channel has them all kind of laid out, taking her through Istanbul, Johannesburg, Tokyo and Singapore and London. Yeah, it's a pretty cool series, as Vlad said. I echo that. And I don't know if anybody else caught that Kit Kat tower, but I could really use one of those right now. Kate says she's delightful and it was fascinating. Can't wait to watch more. Lindsay touched on something. I'm amazed at how accessible Tokyo is. Their system should be the standard at all major cities. I want to watch more of her series because I love to travel as well. It's so great being on this chat with fellow travelers and travel lovers. One viewer says the idea of cane guides is new to me, believe it or not. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you all to reply to in the chat box is, you know, were any of the things that Mona encountered in Tokyo something that you encountered during any of your travels? And if not, wanted to invite you to like think back on some of your travels and let us know if you encountered any kind of really interesting technology related to accessibility, or anything else that kind of resonated with you as you watched this. Let's see, and we have one viewer connecting. Welcome. Oh, nope. Yeah, well, a lot of that was new to me as well. Has anyone here traveled to Tokyo specifically before? We've had quite a few stories on the Mayusa website about people who've traveled to Tokyo, but this is like the first time I've seen that great video recording with those amazing video game type graphics that really drive home kind of some of the innovations. But Mona also, she was also honest about when things were not accessible and when there were barriers that she ran into. One thing that Mona talked about during her introduction of the video is how public transportation has a close place in her heart because it's a symbol of freedom and independence. And I was curious what types of public transportation the folks here have used during their travels. What was one of the most unusual forms of transportation you used? And while you're responding to that question, I'm going to ask Monica or Joy Lenny to drop in a link to one of the tip sheets on our website, featuring some people with disabilities taking some interesting or unusual modes of transportation around the world, from yaks to tuk-tuks to all sorts of contraptions. Let's see, Vlad says, I haven't traveled outside of Europe besides your exchange program. Exchange programs, that's what we're here to promote. Joy Laney just shared our creative ways to get around abroad tip sheet. Justin says that he's ridden through Oaxaca in the bed of a truck. I bet there's an interesting story behind that. Another thing that I noticed about Mona's video is some of the the sounds that she encountered in her environment. You know, as a blind traveler, she really focused a lot on the audio cues that she noticed throughout her travels and taking public transportation, different musical notes or audio cues that indicate when it's safe to go across the street or when it's time to board a train or which train you're boarding. And I wanted to see if anybody else noticed that as well, and if that's something that you think about when you travel, or maybe if not, audio. If there are particular smells that you remember from countries that you've traveled to that you'll forever associate with the countries. And then just speaking of going back to the sounds though, Monica, can you share some tip sheets? Can you tell us a little bit about these, Monica?
Yeah, sure. This is Monica. I just put one of our podcast episodes here on tactile tips for navigating abroad, and this is from Nick Hoekstra. He's blind and was on the JET program, so the Japanese English teaching program. And in the very beginning of this episode, you'll hear some traffic sounds in the streets of Japan that he captured during his program. So we thought it was a really great way to kind of experience that audio sound with him through the podcast. So you can hear that one in that episode. And another one I'm going to share is from Erin Snowyink. She taught English abroad in Spain, and she was part of the choir group. And I was asking her if she had any audio from her experience abroad, and she's like, oh yeah, I think I captured from one of my choir classes. And it's a beautiful, beautiful beginning. So I definitely encourage everybody to listen to the whole episode, but even especially right in the very beginning to hear the beautiful sounds of a choir group in Spain.
Thanks, Monica. And as Justin's pointing out, Nick Hoekstra is going to be in our blind community room as one of the moderators. And so as part of Joining Hands, we're going to be hosting some community rooms, including a deaf and hard of hearing community room, blind community room, non-apparent disability community room, and then a physical disability community room. And these will be an opportunity for travelers with these disabilities to just come together and share their experiences. And so I hope that you'll get a chance to meet Nick in that community room, and you can ask him more about his travels, as well as share your own. And let's see, any other comments that people would like to share either in the chat, or you're welcome to activate your mic or video. This is just a chance to take a break from our panel sessions of Joining Hands and just enjoy a movie together.
Hello.
Hi, who is this?
This is Vlad from Romania.
Hey, Vlad, welcome.
Thank you. So basically, I've been to the Flex Exchange program. I've been back in 2016, 2017. I'm currently living in Romania. I finished my college. And basically, I'm impressed in general. I mean, I haven't catched the beginning of the documentary because my father called me for dinner, so I had to go. But I basically caught it at like in the middle or something, and I was very impressed of what the Japanese have. But I'm not gonna say that basically I was also impressed of what you guys, the Americans, have, because when it comes to disabilities and human rights here, it's more different than in US. And you guys, I saw you have more opportunities than us. For example, even as jobs, even though I couldn't experience any work myself, I've been to the blind school, and there I've seen my fellow colleagues applying for jobs and being helped out by their services. And I can say that indeed there is so much difference, because here, for example, we are not even expected to work.
Right. Yeah, and
So, yes.
or travel probably, and I don't know if Mona touched on this in some of the other videos, but
Where
just
can I
during,
find her videos though? Sorry.
oh, great question. Yes. So Monica, I believe, included the link to Mona's YouTube channel in the chat window. Actually, I have it. I'll repaste it for everybody. I think I have it there. And yeah, well, thank you so much, Vlad. Yeah, I appreciate your comment and for tuning in, especially after dinner time. And it's so great to know that we have a Flex alum here in the room with us. And, I think what you said is, I think other people can definitely relate to that, as far as traveling to another country and maybe finding some technology or opportunities that you maybe don't have in your home country. And that Americans experience that as well. A lot of the people with disabilities that we've interviewed in our stories and some in our webinars have talked about going to different countries and kind of noticing how the community relies more on, for example, public transportation than they do in their home community. And kind of longing for that, wishing they could bring that back with them. And so I'm sure there's a lot of other examples. We have a comment from Binta saying, I'm so impressed with your courage and intelligence, Mona. I wish you could have such assistive technology in my country for the visually impaired. Thanks for your comment, Binta. And I'm excited to share all these comments with Mona later. I see Raluca also joined the room from Romania. Welcome, Raluca, one of our alumni. See, any final thoughts before we wrap up? I hope you enjoyed this. I'm curious, was this anyone's first experience watching a movie with audio description? Feel free to say in the chat if you watched other movies with audio description or if this was kind of a new experience for you and what you thought of it. Trina says it was her first experience. A lot of people say it's their first experience with watching video with audio description, but not for everybody. It wasn't everybody's first experience. And some people said, even though they didn't need it for accessibility, they still enjoyed the experience. Let's see, one person says, I ended up watching a Broadway show on TV on the assistive channel, which was my first time. It was just very interesting. As Vlad points out, Netflix and a lot of other streaming services have options to watch videos with audio description. And it's definitely interesting. And I think it, if you are a filmmaker and a creator, or just somebody who likes to take video or photos during your travels and likes to share them with other people, I think it's a good way to get some practice in observing what are some of the things in the environment that you want to include and let other people know are part of what you're experiencing. And you remember I asked Mona in the introduction, were you having people describe these things to you while you were traveling? She said, no, some of it was kind of a surprise because it wasn't until my audio describer said something was happening in the background or someone gave me a look that I knew it at the time. So it can definitely enhance your travel experience to kind of tune into those types of things and include it in the video. So I really appreciated that she really thoughtfully included that. And well, it's the top of the hour. It's 1 o'clock here in Oregon, and I'm sure it's many different time zones for all of you around the world. And I'd like to wrap up and just say thank you so much for joining and taking this movie break with us. I hope the rest of your days or evenings go well. And please let us know if you have, you're welcome to contact us offline. Let us know if you have other ideas for future disability at the movies, because we definitely plan on having future joining hands and would love to do this again with you with even more snacks next time. So thank you so much, everyone. And I will include I'm including the email for our clearinghouse team in the chat window. We'd love to hear from you. And then for everybody who registered for joining hands, be on the lookout for some messages, follow-up messages from our team including an evaluation and recordings and other resources that you can take away, not just for this session, but for all of the Joining Hands events. So thank you again, everyone.